Alright, let's do this. Hi, my name's Jem and you guys are at a different angle. I'm trialing this kind of setup and that's mainly because I'm super fucking lazy and I can't be bothered standing for like 20 minutes of raw footage. So we'll try this out for maybe a couple of videos. I'll see how it pans out. Anyway, I wanted to do this video, although I'm quite hesitant to do it, and it's mainly because it's quite a negative video, and like I've talked about books that I dislike on this channel before. I've got a couple of videos lined up talking about like bad tropes and bad romances, so like I don't shy away from negativity. It's like a general facet of my life, but this video is extremely negative and it's nitpicking one specific book. And I'm not quite sure why I feel so bad about it because I rip apart Eleanor and Park quite frequently on this channel. But I don't know, something about this book doesn't sit well with me, and I was going to include it in a Tropes I Hate video. But I finished this a couple days ago and it's just been nagging at me to kind of do a video completely expressing the overarching issues that I take with this novel, which is The School for Good and Evil by Samar Shanani. The thing is, I finished this book and I was like, I like it. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not a really original idea. It's kind of like The Descendants. It's about this world where two kids from this village are like taken every 4 years, and one is raised in the school for good and they learn how to become princesses and princes of fairy tales, and then the other child is taken to the school for evil and they learn how to become villains and henchmen, and it's very, very dark, but it's quite good. And I thought the kind of academies were really well built, the atmosphere was incredible. My main issues comes with the characters and their relationships with each other. So let's start with the first relationship, Sophie and Agatha. Now, Sophie, I believe they're 16 years old, although their age is kind of ambiguous because this novel is targeted as middle age and it's fucking not. But I'll get into that later as to why that's such a repulsive genre to put it in. No, I like middle grade books. That kind of came out wrong. But what I mean is it doesn't fit in middle grade. But the first relationship is Sophie and Agatha. And Sophie is positioned to think herself really, really good. She's always dreamt of being taken away to the school for good. The first line is literally like repugnant. Sophie had waited all her life to be kidnapped. So like, she wants to be taken away to this school for fucking good. Never once jurying that she could be taken for the school for evil. Anyway, she thinks herself so fucking high and mighty that she becomes friends with Agatha, and Agatha was raised in a graveyard and she's like the fucking outcast. She wears like a burlap sack and like clumps. I don't know what clumps are, they're like shoes, I'm guessing they're like clogs, but I don't fucking know, unimportant. So Sophie kind of like befriends Agatha thinking that she's doing like a good deed. It's fucking repugnant. At the start of the novel, like the blurb indicates that the girls end up in differing schools than what they originally thought. But if it's a middle grade novel, which it's targeted as, Sophie is opened up as a really, really good character, as in like fundamentally philosophically good, not like good as in well fleshed out, because nobody in this book is well fleshed out. So I take a problem with her treating the one person in her life who genuinely cares about her so badly from the onset, and I realize that she's an evil character and she's supposed to fucking treat people evilly, but I don't know, she's supposed to be friends with Agatha and she's supposed to think herself so good, but she's so fundamentally disgusting in her treatment to Agatha, borderline bullying her. Like, I'll probably insert some quotes because I didn't bookmark any of it because I I didn't think I was going to do a review on it. So I'll probably flick through and insert some quotes about how fucking disgusting Sophie is to Agatha, even from the beginning, but right throughout. As I touched on before, no character in this book is well fleshed out. They're very stale. Even though Agatha and Sophie go through major transformations, they're just stuck in the same mentality that they started in. I thought Agatha was probably the best character in terms of development, but I'm not even sure if you could call it that. She treated Sophie a lot better than Sophie treated her, and I'm glad that she kind of found the strength halfway through to kind of go like, fuck you Sophie, you're a fucking bitch. But that was just kind of undermined towards the end when they became friends again. So I thought that was fucking shit. The fact that you took the one strong independent character and just kind of forced her back into an abusive relationship, because that is what I view Sophie and Agatha as. I don't think it's a healthy relationship. It's disgusting the way Sophie treats Agatha, and even the way Agatha treats Sophie sometimes. It's just not a healthy disposition to present to younger readers. And, you know, I'm older, I'm 17, so I'm out of the middle grade category, but even then I was like, it's just not nice to show, especially a female audience, that this is what female relationships look like. Which leads me to my next point. Every single fucking female in this book is abhorrent. They are heinous. Even the girls in the good school treat each other as little more than competition, and I'm like, they are competition in essence. Basically the girls spend 4 years at the academy and the highest ranking becomes princesses, and like the lowest ranking get turned into like animals. So they are competition, but the supposedly good girls are disgusting, and there's an abhorrent amount of slut shaming in amongst the girls, especially from Sophie. Particularly targets this girl called Beatrix, and I'm just fucking like, why? Why? Like, why? It's just, and it's never used as like a plot differentiation in the novel. Like, it's just kind of brushed over, and it's kind of seems like Simone Shinani has used slut shaming to just show like, girls are like this, good or evil, and that's just ugly. Like, that's just ugly to show young women as this kind of heinous image. It's not nice. It's not nice at all. I had to go put a sweater on because my house is the fucking Arctic. So anyway, I was talking about slut shaming. So I believe the reason why there is so much slut shaming boils down to the most pathetic excuse of a love interest known to men. Yeah, fucking evil takes a form in Tedros. Not even, he's supposed to be fucking Prince Arthur's son. King Arthur? I didn't read that book. But he's supposed to be King Arthur's son, and he harbours really, really strong resentment to his mother for like running away with Lancelot, I think. So the way he treats women is disgusting. He like spits in their faces, he pulls their hair, he ignores them, he's hot and cold. He's basically Etienne from Anna and the French Kiss, but like middle grade. So like a watered down Etienne. But like sometimes not even. Like the way he treats both Agatha and Sophie at times is really, really gross. Again, I'll insert some quotes. But he is not a cool guy, and he treats every single woman in the book, because all of the girls love him, he's fucking Etienne. No, every girl loves him, and he treats every girl like a piece of shit. And he's, you know, so high and mighty, he's the king's son, but he doesn't know fucking manners. Like, it's disgusting. I'm gonna stop because he makes me mad. He makes me genuinely fucking mad. My biggest problem throughout this book, more so than the slut shaming, although that's a massive issue, more so than the abusive relationships, though that's a massive issue, is the exploitation of a minority group as a plot pusher. Yeah, I fucking said it. I want to do a whole video on plot pushing because it's something that I'm very passionate against. Plot pushing is basically when you use a trope or a facet to enhance the narrative of the story. And it is genuinely at the hands of a minority group. In this case, it's the LGBT plus community. Holy fucking shit. The amount of queer baiting in this book is actually festy as fuck. Like, what the fuck? Most of my problems I realised after I read the book and after I had time to stew. But I remember very clearly throughout the reading of this book, I was like, does Agatha like Sophie? Does Sophie like Agatha? Are they gonna end up together? Is Tedros just the throwaway character and we're gonna have this beautiful young gay relationship? I don't know, because Samar Shinani led me the fuck on. Even towards the end, and this is possibly the worst scene in the entire fucking book. There's this scene where Sophie goes full evil. She looks like an evil fucking hag, which I take a problem with because they describe some physical features that people have. It's like the Don't Judge Me challenge, but in book form. It's really gross. Anyway, there's the end scene where Sophie is like hosting this ball for evil, and like she tricks Agatha into like dancing with her, and like Tedros walks in and he's like, you guys are together? Whoa! And then Agatha's like, what? No! And Sophie's like, oh my god, we're so in love. Queer baiting. Blatant fucking queer baiting. As someone part of the LGBT community, I firsthand know how difficult it is to find stories that don't use gay relationships as plot pushers, who show that our relationships is little more than a source of anguish for the main character. It's just so frustrating to see the seeds of pure ignorance about gay relationships that you see so often in young adult and new adult novels now leaking down into middle grade fiction. Like, just the blatant disregard for the emotional damage this could do to someone who doesn't know about their sexuality yet, who might be questioning, like, do I like my best friend? Like, imagine the kind of fear that this would incite. Like, I feel like you kind of have to read the scene in context to know just how, like, uncool it is to kind of position Sophie and Agatha like this. I don't know. I took a massive issue with it, and some people may say I'm blowing it out of proportion and it's just, you know, a way to advance the plot and I shouldn't read so deep into it, but it was quite hurtful to allow the audience to entertain the idea of a gay relationship and then to like completely make a fucking joke out of it. It was hurtful, and it was, yeah, off-putting for the end of, like, the last quarter of the novel. I had to physically force myself to read because I was like, come on, Shinani, this is not okay. The last thing I want to talk about is what I talked about in the start, and that is how this book is genred wrong. It is categorized completely wrongly. Wrongly? I don't know if that's a word. Obviously, I can't fucking write books like Janani. For a middle grade book, I think sex is fine, or sexuality is fine. I think treating, you know, teenagers like they wouldn't understand what it means to be a sexual being, or somebody who knows about sex, someone who is interested in sex. I think to treat young people like that is really detrimental to just creating intelligent people and creating emotionally intelligent people. Just treat kids like they know about sex, or they're gonna find information on like fucking pornhub.com. So I have no problem with sex in middle grade. I think it's quite a good thing. However, there is a difference between a sexual character and someone okay with their sexuality, somebody exploring their sexuality. There is a difference between all of that and a sexualized character. Like I said at the start, I don't know how fucking old they are, because at first I thought they were like 12, 13, except they described Sophie's legs as like creamy white and like luscious thighs and like low cut bodices and like skin tight pleather, and I was like, okay. I was like, this is actually like quite bizarre, because you look at this cover and you look at the blurb and you think about the kind of idea, and you wouldn't think that it's a massive cat and mouse game to get some below average fucking festy love interest. Sophie's sexuality and sexualization is majorly used as like a bargaining chip over Tedros and over the other boys. And I don't have a problem with men and women using sex and being sexy to get what they want necessarily. But I do take an issue when you have a character as young as Sophie doing it, because I feel like adults understand the implications maybe a little bit better. I don't know, maybe that's just an overgeneralization, because sex can be used as a weapon. And I think the way that concept was explored in this novel didn't work as well as it could have. So that's my 2 cents on the novel. I'm not saying don't read it, because like I said, I didn't hate it. I think I gave it 2 or 3 stars on Goodreads, and I've given books with 0 or 1 star. So I'm not saying this is absolutely terrible, although it kind of is. I think you can only dig deeper into this novel in retrospect, and you kind of need to read it to understand what I'm talking about, but I did my best to try and review this book. I didn't do a good job because it makes me mad talking about some of the issues, but I hope my next book is a bit more positive, because yeah, this was pretty negative. But until next time, bye guys.